awesome. So can you explain how and why Simply Grand Music decided to move to Nashville and like what that process was and how you made that
Okay,
decision?
we didn't move to
Or
Nashville.
expand to Nashville.
Expand.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because all of the big record companies are in Nashville. They're either in Los Angeles, New York, or Nashville. Nashville's the closest place to us. My music attorney's in Nashville, and one of my accountants for artists, the older artists especially, he's in Nashville, and they work with some of the major stars like Blake Shelton, Miranda Lambert, Reba McEntire, Dixie Chicks. Am I leaving somebody out? Garth Brooks. I don't want to leave him out. And they're working with just huge stars. And here you can't go down the block and go into Warner Brothers or Universal. So I set up appointments because I have contacts going back 30 years. And I set up appointments, and recently they even let me bring Sierra with me. You can't walk in these doors. If you don't know somebody, you can't get in. And that's why they're the closest to us where I have contacts and could expand. I don't want to leave Memphis per se and move to Nashville because I feel like I'd love to see us having an artist currently come out of Memphis. So I'm trying to get these people in Nashville to, I'd like to be a liaison for music here in Memphis to bring to them the new music.
Yeah.
There's a new sound coming out of here. And I feel that it, from talking to different younger people who are musicians and artists, that it's a combination of older music with a more kind of the roots to the older music with a new rock flair to it. And it's sort of a blend. I think that's what we're going to see come out of here. It's going to be a little different.
So I guess changing the subject a little bit, can you talk about some of your other hobbies that you're involved with? I know you mentioned like photography earlier. So
Oh yeah, I've always had love for photography. When I moved out west to Colorado, it was in 1971, I believe, or 1970, and my father gave me a 35 millimeter camera at that time. Didn't have digital. And I fell in love with the mountains and the streams and just the landscape, and that's how I became a photographer. I don't even know if I should say this, but I will. I lived in a log cabin that was built in the 1880s, literally. I had to chink in between the logs. That's called chinking. And that's where you mix cement and put it between the logs so that you can't see through it, or air can't come through, or animals. And we had just a potbelly stove that went up to the top. I've got pictures at home. I have a real big picture in my dining room of the cabin. I lived there for 4 years. It was about 14,900 feet up in Conifer, Colorado. And we roughed it. No utilities, no running water, just an outhouse. I didn't have to live this way. That's what my father always said. Why are you living this way when you don't have to? I wanted the experience. I was reading Thoreau and books like that, Ansel Adams photography books, and poetry by these guys. And Thoreau really inspired me from Walden Pond that I'd like to see what that was like. And so me and another girlfriend did that. And we cut all our own wood and split it and had her own firewood and had to go up the mountain to get water where it came out of the top of the stream.
Wow.
And the worst of the whole thing's an outhouse. I'm not gonna lie about it. When I moved back to Memphis, I was glad to see a bathroom. But then I moved to Washington State and lived near the Hoh rainforest, which I think the Hoh rainforest, you might know, is one of there may be 2 rainforests left in the United States, and the Hoh's, H-O-H, is one of them. And that was gorgeous, just gorgeous. I tell you what broke my heart lately, Yosemite catching on fire. I've spent many days and nights in Yosemite, and that just has been breaking my heart every time I see it on the news.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know have y'all ever been? Those trees, those massive trees, they can never be replaced. Never, ever, ever.
So reading your bio, it also said something about how you like to write children's books.
I do. I didn't bring a book, did you? We forgot.
Well,
It's called Elmer the Elf. I gave you one, didn't I, for your children?
I don't think you've ever given me one.
I will give you
I'd love
one.
that, yeah.
We'll be due for lunch
We
soon.
will, yeah.
It's called Elmer the Elf, and it's taken from one of the old songs. And I hired an artist out of Denver and came up with the storyline's taken from the song. It's me coming up with the concept, but the storyline comes from the song, and the artwork is like my direction and this guy drawing it. It's really cute. I'll see to it you get one too.